Jarren Duran with number 2. Swinging a high fly ball down the left field line. Did he keep it fair? And he did indeed. It's gone. Alex Bregman with number 6. 2-1. He'll fly that one into right field. That's well hit. Santander's back on the track. He's leaping up. He can't get it. That ball's gone. The 4th of the year for the rookie Campbell. Swinging a drive. This one's gone. Way back. Raffy connects.
Oh, my.
Instantaneously. Way back there. They are returning the favor. And there's a swing and a high D drive center field. Varsho's backing up, turning around. See you later. That one's gone. Abreu with a 3-run shot. And the Red Sox are mauling the Blue Jays tonight. Wow. Already 5 Red Sox home runs.
It's that kind of night last night in Toronto. Red Sox attacked. They attacked early. They walloped the Toronto Blue Jays. Final score was 10-2. Did you know Red Sox are now 3 games over 500 for the first time this year? 17-14. Feels like a lot to be positive about. 3 wins in a row, and yet I can assure you I will find something negative. It's what I do best. 617-779-0985. We'll open up the phone lines right away. Let me begin by asking this question. This is a little bit of a roundabout way to get to a point, but work with me. Some movies sometimes have alternate titles, and by alternate titles, I don't mean that they are released under a different name in a foreign country. I mean, sometimes they offer you an actual alternate title. So, for example, maybe you're a James Bond fan. If you've ever watched any of the old Bond movies, not that I have, but there's a famous one, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. That was the alternate title of the movie. Why am I telling you all this? Because I would like to give an alternate title to the game last night in Toronto, which, again, the Red Sox manhandled the Blue Jays. And as always, I am looking for reasons to both embrace the Red Sox, and believe me when I tell you that I want them to be good this year. I want them to be competitive. I want them to be good teams. I want them to be championship caliber. I want all of those things. And at the same time, I can't help but look at reasons that shoot holes through that. So I would like to title tonight's show, Nobody Knows How to Play This Effing Game Anymore, or Why Pitching Coaches Are Morons. Really, those 2 things. So I'll say this for the victory for the Red Sox last night. It was a rocking chair kind of game for Garrett Crochet, which is good. We had a caller yesterday say that they haven't given Garrett Crochet any run support. They gave him run support last night, and they blew away the Blue Jays. The game was never competitive. Toronto took 3 out of 4 from them when they were here in Boston earlier in the month. The Red Sox only victory in that series was in the finale and came on a little squib of an infield hit. It was a walk-off by Trevor Story, but it wasn't the most impressive win. And overall, I would argue that they weren't playing particularly well. They then went on the road and got their asses kicked. So here's one thing that I would tell you about the Red Sox, and I brought this up earlier in the week, that I think you should look at and understand that I'm not complaining about last night's win. I'm complaining about the absence of other kinds of wins. So, for example, the Red Sox right now are 10-0 when they get 10 or more hits. It sounds impressive, but it really isn't. Most teams win when they hit. So I don't get all that impressed when a team hits, let alone 5 home runs, and wins a game, particularly against a guy who I'm not especially impressed by in the starting pitcher last night for the Blue Jays is a guy named Bowen Francis. Bowen, B-O-W-E-N. That sounded like Bone, like Tim McBone. No, Bowen, B-O-W-E-N, Francis. But whatever, he's a big leaguer. 10 hits, they win. They're now 10-0 and they get 10 or more hits. By the way, that is the single best record in the major leagues for a team that gets 10 hits. But I would tell you most teams have winning records when they knock the ball around the ballpark. If you hit, you usually win. Or at least if you hit like that. I gave you this number earlier in the week that the Red Sox are 7-14 when they don't have 10 hits. That could be 9. That could be 2. That could be 5, it could be 7. And I would also tell you that most teams have losing records when that happens. But the good ones win both times, or win more than everybody else both times. So again, when the Red Sox get 10 hits, they're 10-0. That's the best record in baseball. When they don't get 10 hits, they're 7-14. The 7-14 in and of itself should mean nothing to you. But when I tell you it ranks 23rd in the majors, that should carry a little more weight. So they have not excelled, even remotely, unless they are bashing the ball all over the ballpark. So what that tells me is they don't win by pitching. They don't win by defense. We had Chris Cotillo of Mass Live on last night. Chris Cotillo said he thought the bullpen has been pretty good this year. One of the things that the Red Sox have done well. I said I don't think the Red Sox have done many things well this year. Jim Murray cracked that they've hit bad pitching well, which they then did again last night. So look, I'll give Cotillo the bullpen, but the point is that I think there's some truth to it. They don't win games in other ways, at least not consistently. And I think ultimately their ability to do that is going to decide how this season goes. So they're 17-14. They're 3 over. That's good. All in all, we'll take it. They're in the playoffs. I understand it's a long haul. It's hard to make judgments on any team in the short term, and baseball is inevitably a game about the marathon and the bigger sample. So you can't win it in April. You can only lose it in April. Blah, 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 blah. I know all that stuff. But I would tell you, based on what we've seen thus far, they haven't done a good enough job winning games in other ways. They just haven't done it. And they need to show that at some point before we can really take them seriously. And before you say, well, wait a minute, again, I thought you said everybody loses when they don't hit. Generally true, but the good teams win. So for, again, the best teams at winning in the major leagues this year when they have less than 10 hits or fewer than 10 hits, the New York Mets, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the San Francisco Giants, and the Detroit Tigers. Those teams have 4 of the 5 best records in baseball. So they win when they hit, and they win when they don't hit like crazy. And I really should amend that to say they win when they hit like crazy, and they win when they don't hit like crazy. That they can get victories in other ways. The other thing that's a part of that, and I've been hopping on this all week, is that the Red Sox have also had the weakest schedule in baseball thus far. That's through last night. So it's easy to beat bad teams, and it's easy to win more games than anyone else when you're playing garbage. But the fact is that they've lost competitive games against the weakest schedule, or among the weakest schedules. And I take that back. It is the weakest schedule in the league. And they still have the 23rd best record when they are when they have fewer than 10 hits. To me is a little bit of a concerning sign. And I say little bit. I don't think the season's going to end. So a lot of bad teams out there. The Red Sox will beat up on bad pitching, and that'll get them to a certain point. If they want to go farther than that, they're going to have to beat teams in other ways. It's what all really good teams do. You name the style of game that you want to play, and we can win it. And I would submit that this is basically what happened to the Celtics in the first round of the playoffs against the Orlando Magic. That was not Celtics basketball, at least not until the second half last night. But they won the series anyway because they're better than the Magic and they're one of the best teams in the league. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. So 617-779-0985. I also want to give you some stats on the Red Sox through the early part of this season individually that really crystallize what their strengths are offensively and what their weakness is, clearly without dispute when it comes to their offense. We'll get to that in the next segment, and it really relates primarily to Rafael Devers, but there are others too. And also, I think it speaks to the trick-or-treat nature of the team. I'm going to try to explain to you why they are so good against bad pitching, at least in a little more detail, and also why they are not against better pitching and why they don't win in other ways. So we'll kick it off tonight first with Sean in Colorado, regular caller. Sean, go ahead.
Hey, Tony. I've been talking about this week when I've called about the importance of that game last night, mainly in setting the tempo for this entire series in Toronto. You have no idea what you're getting out of Giolito tonight. Frankly, Houck has been something of extreme unreliability. So setting the tempo last night was extremely important, and I'm most impressed with the way how they did it, because I think that's the most important part. They did it with the bats. When you, Tony, I'm young, so I tend to agree a lot with a lot of nerd things. One thing I absolutely hate about the nerds is how they talk about momentum's not a real thing. Momentum's absolutely a real thing. And when you guys got guys running to the bat rack to grab and go hit, that's important. And that leads me into my point about Jarren Duran. When Jarren Duran goes, this team goes. He's the emotional and energetic spark plug of this team. When he's stealing bases, hitting triples, hitting leadoff home runs, his energy is almost contagious amongst this team is what it seems. They seem to match it, and they seem to go as he goes. I wanted your thoughts on that.
Okay, so Sean, look, I think that there are a lot of leadoff hitters that are dynamic, or historically there are a lot of leadoff hitters that are dynamic that can ignite a team. Duran's definitely one of those guys. So when Duran starts slapping the ball all over the ballpark and jerking the occasional one into the right field seats, he can get them going. There's no question. I'll tell you, I personally think the idea of momentum is a little overrated. There's an old adage in baseball, momentum is only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. So, now look, if Duran comes out tonight and gives them a 3-0 lead, you say, okay, well, there you go. Or helps get them a 3-0 lead. Well, there you go. There's momentum. Except that happened in Cleveland the other night. They got 3 in the top of the first, and Tanner Houck came out and gave up 4 in the bottom half, and they lost the game. So, to me, momentum's about your pitching. It's just hard to build long winning streaks on hitting alone, because inevitably there's going to be someone on the other side that's dealing and shoves the bats right down your throat. So I believe that there can be momentum within the framework of a single game, but in order to build momentum on a night-to-night basis, you know what you need? Good starting pitching. You got to be in the game every night. And then you want to have situational hitting. You want to get hot. You want to rip off 8 in a row. Your lineup gets going. All that I'll grant you. It's got to start on the mound. If your pitching sucks, you're not going to have long win streaks. And I would say overall, the Red Sox pitching has been mediocre, but it's been inconsistent. And it's still the primary thing standing in between them and being the kind of team that we all want them to be. So tonight with Giolito on the mound, yes, I'll take last night's win as important. But the series is up for grabs if Giolito gets his ass kicked tonight in Toronto, and he might. The Blue Jays are having a bullpen game, so you're going to see 8 different guys, which means it can be those can be challenging. The hitters never get a great feel or look, and the manager is picking guys for the proper pockets in the lineup the whole night through. Those can be challenging. You want my opinion? I like Toronto tonight. So it comes back to the starting pitching. It also comes back to the Red Sox lineup, which I'll get to when we come back, starting with Rafael Devers, who hit another home run last night. He had one in Cleveland, and I'm starting to think there's more similarity between Rafael Devers and Trevor Story than I otherwise would have guessed. We'll get to that when we come back on the Baseball Hour.
I don't know what these pitchers are doing, right? They keep getting ahead and beating Raffy with fastballs. And we saw this in Cleveland. Off speed with 2 strikes in the strike zone. That's a splitter down the middle. He is going to destroy that. They keep just trying to reinvent it and trick this guy. You keep making that mistake, you're going to lose a lot of baseballs.
So tip of the cap to Will Middlebrooks on that one. Because I looked at that last night. Rafael Devers hit a home run. The Red Sox had 5 in the game. Okay, 5 in the game. And again, the pitcher for the Blue Jays last night was a guy named Bowen Francis. If you don't know who he is, I don't blame you. Had an ERA in the mid-3s, I think, mid to high 3s coming into the game. But then I saw him pitch. And again, with the way it started, none of us had a chance to really see the game develop. But after watching it for a while, the Blue Jays never had a chance last night. This guy was freaking ground beef for the Red Sox from the very start. And I'll tell you why. And this has been true all year long with the Red Sox. Because he throws 93 miles per hour. 93. And you know what the Red Sox do with pitchers who throw under 95 miles an hour? They beat the snot out of those guys. Nobody pounds weak pitching like the Red Sox. And in the modern era, 93 might as well be what 86 was 20 years ago. They freaking annihilate clowns like this. This guy threw a bunch of crap off speed stuff up there that the Red Sox beat the stuffing out of. And you know why? Because none of them have to gear up for a fastball because they know they can hit when he's going to throw the fastball. He's only going to top out at 93. Wait until I give you the numbers. Let me take a call first. 617-779-0985. Zach is in Austin. Wants the Red Sox, I think, to trade for a right-handed bat. Zach, go ahead.
How's it going? So, right now the bats are clicking, but long-term, as you look at this lineup, it's so lefty-heavy. And I think an opportunity for that right-handed bat they need to be successful in the postseason start to lurk down in Atlanta. The Acuna situation is getting really ugly. They just suspended him for a game before the incident with the manager. And he's only under control, I believe, either 1 or 2 years after this year. And we have the farm system to trade for it. A package centered around Rafaela, Meyer, you figure out the other prospects. He'd be the perfect bat in the middle of this lineup. Just want to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, so Zach, look, I love Ronald Acuna Jr. I do. I would love the player, but their problems are not about the imbalance in their lineup. That's not what the problems with the Red Sox are. The problems with the Red Sox are the inconsistency of their pitching. So if they're going to trade Meyer, they're going to trade Anthony, they're going to trade him for a pitcher. First of all, they're not going to trade him, period. But secondly, if they were ever to do that, they would trade them for pitching. So you want to tell me they're going to move Rafaela or Abreu or Duran, and not even this season, maybe after the season, maybe at the trade deadline, I don't know, whenever. But if they ever want to trade young talent, they're going to trade it for pitching. They got hitters coming up the wazoo, and they're not as imbalanced in that lineup as they've been in the past. Bregman's hitting. Christian Campbell is hitting. They now are basically, 5-4 left to right in the lineup with Bregman, Story, Rafaela. Who did I leave out? Jimmy Stewart. Oh, Campbell. So that's 4 righties right there. And I'm not telling you I love Rafaela, but you're not going to have an all-star player at every position on the field. So they're not as left-handed heavy as they used to be. Now, the other thing is the flaw in their offense. And overall, I heard Dave O'Brien say on the broadcast last night, Jimmy Stewart, that I think they're second in the big leagues in runs scored. Do you know if that's true?
That probably sounds right. I mean, they've had enough blowout wins where that would sound right.
I mean, it would be easy enough for me to look up, but I can't do 2 things at the same time because I'm just freaking not wired that way.
We know.
I can only do 1 thing at a time. So,
So, Tony, they're 4th in baseball in runs scored. They're 2nd in the American League.
Okay, and again, I'm not surprised by this, but I would also tell you that I think it's been sort of trick or treat. So, Jimmy, you said yesterday, I think they had 5 games where they had scored 10 or more runs.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, last night was the 6th. So they have 17 wins now on the year. A third of those have been games in which they've scored 10 or more runs. That's a lot. So I think the overall number is a little bit inflated. And when I say the overall number, I mean the number of the amount of runs scored. Which brings me to the problem in the lineup. Jarren Duran homered last night on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Good fastball, not a great one, but smoked it to right field. Alex Bregman hit a split-fingered pitch, 83 miles an hour. Christian Campbell hit another fastball, but it was 92, and he hit it to the opposite field. And when I say the fact that he hit it to the opposite field, Campbell has a tremendous approach at the plate. I loved it in spring training, and it's one of the reasons, it's one of the easy ways to identify a good hitter right out of the gate, is that where's he trying to hit it? Where is he starting with his approach? Campbell starts in right center field. So he puts himself in position to hit fastballs the other way, and if it's an off-speed pitch and you make a mistake, he can drill it. Devers last night, his home run, 82, split-fingered pitch. Wilyer Abreu, 73 curveball. So 4 of the 5 pitches were under 94 miles an hour. All 5 were under 95, which brings me to this. These are individual Red Sox batting averages this season on pitchers of 95 miles per hour or greater. 4 seam fastballs. There is one regular in the lineup that I would say is hit well against velocity and against off speed. One player. Anyone want to venture to who that is? Anyone want to venture a guess as to who that has been? Jimmy, you want to take a guess at that? And let me rephrase the question. I'll ask the listeners too. One player in the Red Sox lineup, to me, has hit well against what I would call off-speed or breaking stuff and plus velocity, which is 95 or above. Who would you guess that would be?
Tristan Campbell.
Bingo. Very good, Jimmy Stewart. Campbell has hit 500 on pitches 95 plus. He has hit 429 on pitches less than or equal to 94 miles an hour. Now, when I say under 94, that includes everything under 94. It's really, I just set the fastball limit at 95 just because I think that is sort of the line where it starts to get real. In this day and age, it's at 95. If you don't throw 95, you're considered a soft thrower. Incredible, but true. Here are some of the averages for Red Sox players on fastballs 95 plus. Carlos Narvaez is at 333, but I don't really consider him a regular yet. He's really a split-time guy with Connor Wong. We'll see how that looks when Wong comes back, because Narvaez has been pretty good behind the plate since he got in there. But everyone else, and certainly, again, the regulars, on fastballs 95 or more, Alex Bregman, 214. Wilyer Abreu, 182. Jarren Duran, 158. Now, again, last night, Duran got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball and turned it around, hit a home run. He's also been hot, but even so, he turned it around. But as soon as the number goes to 95 and above, he's at 158. Has trouble catching up with high fastballs in the strike zone, can't lay off. Tristan Casas, 143. Trevor Story, 077. I've told this to you many times. All of Story's home runs this year have come on off-speed pitches. You know why? Because he cheats on fastball. And by the way, they are misses on off-speed pitches, typically breaking balls that hang in the middle of the zone. Trevor Story has slider bat speed. So if you hang it in the middle of the plate, he'll crush it. If you throw it where it's supposed to be on the outside of the outside edge or off the plate, he'll miss it by 2 feet. So Trevor Story is the ultimate trick-or-treat guy on this team. Ceddanne Rafaela pitches 95 and over, is hitting 0. Okay, 0. Does not have a hit. Now, again, 94 and under, the numbers are a little better for Rafaela. I think Rafaela is sort of the opposite of Story. I think if you throw him a fastball, 93, 94 in the middle of the plate, he'll hit it. But if you throw him off speed, off the plate, he'll chase and he can't help himself. Again, if it's hanging in the middle of the plate, he'll hit it. But he and Story, in some ways, let me rephrase that. In some ways, they're really similar. But he's a better fastball hitter than Trevor Story, as I'll say that. Rafael Devers, against 95-mile-an-hour fastballs or better, is hitting .063. And you know what that nitwit for the Blue Jays on the mound last night did? He threw him an 82-mile-an-hour split finger that hung in the middle of the strike zone, and Rafael Devers hit it 111 miles an hour out of the ballpark. Rafael Devers is another guy right now who is feasting on off-speed soft stuff. The Red Sox as a team can't hit it. Now, the guy going against him last night couldn't throw very hard. So they are going to go bananas against a guy like that. And they did. Alex Cora commented about the Red Sox approach and performance at the plate after the game. I think he let something slip. And I think he's trying to cover up the fact that his team can't hit fastballs, good ones. And we'll play some audio from Cora after the game that I think illustrates that. Kevin Majori has your headlines.
in the group. Obviously there's a few adjustments that we have to make. Today was a challenge, right, because of his fastball. And we've been exposed this year to four-seamers, and we did a good job covering it and taking it away. And then after that, they just put good at-bats after good at-bats.
It's Alex Cora talking about the offensive approach last night against Bowden Francis. You heard him say there tonight was a challenge because of his fastball. I didn't understand that comment. This guy doesn't throw that hard. 93 miles an hour, 93, 94, somewhere in that range. Doesn't qualify as, hard thrower in this day and age. Again, Garrett Crochet on the other side getting 98, 99. It was around 95, 96 for the game, but even then, it was more than the other guy. And I do think there's a clear line right at 95 now in the big leagues. So, says the guys have been working hard. Tonight was a challenge. We got on his fastball early. But that line, we've been exposed against four-seam fastballs. We've been exposed
this year.
Okay, Jimmy, actually, you know what? If you could let that go a little bit longer. Pick it up the same spot and just let it go a little bit longer.
We've been exposed this year to four-seamers, and we did a good job covering it and taking it away. And then after that, they just put good at-bats after good at-bats.
Okay, again, we've been exposed this year to four-seamers. I think they've been exposed to fastballs up in the strike zone, even the ones that aren't, blasting at 98 miles an hour. I think the Red Sox chase up there, and they get a lot of guys who can't hit them. So I'm going to give you some additional numbers. I gave you the ones at 95 plus. Okay? But the numbers on fastballs overall for the Red Sox are not great for most of the hitters in the lineup. I told you, the only guy to me that among what I would call regulars, who play pretty much every night, the only guy who's shown ability to hit pretty much anything at any speed is Campbell. That's it. Just Campbell. And I would tell you that I think there's one area that Campbell's a little vulnerable. Fastball up and in, but it's off the plate. He chases it for some reason. He likes the ball. He looks for the ball middle in and can still hit it to the right side. But even when it comes too far in, he's vulnerable to it. He swings at it. So you have to come off the plate to find a weakness for him. If he lays off of that, the guy's going to be a nightmare. He's already a nightmare. Joe and Rentham on the Red Sox offense. Go ahead, Joe. Joe, are you there?
No, it's Phil. It's Phil.
Oh, Phil, go ahead. What do you got? Sorry.
Yeah, 2 points. One is that I don't think the team was ready to hit us coming out of spring training, and because they seem to be way behind, and now they're starting to hit a little better. And the other point is that nerd stuff that they started with in the approach was no good, and I think they're realizing that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so, Joe, I think that's part of it. I think some of it is the hitters they have. And, again, the nerd stuff, I don't like it either. I don't like the whole launch angle thing, but depending on who you listen to, I just don't – I have a hard time believing that they want to strike out 15 times a game. So I can't see where Cora's on board with that. Nobody wants to strike out 15 times a game. I think they're okay with strikeouts, clearly, because guys are throwing 98 and, so I'd like to see something that is something of a blend, but just choking up and punching the ball to right field all the time is not going to do anything for you either. You got to be able to do both. You got to be able to drive it, and you also have to be able to put the ball in play when the situation calls for it. The problem is that when the Red Sox get into big spots and close games, everybody knows the same thing. They can't hit a good fastball. They can't hit it, especially if it's elevated. So some of this is the makeup of the roster. And to this point, I said to you, I gave you the numbers on fastballs 95 plus. Okay? Campbell's at 500. Couple of part-timers, Narvaez and Refsnyder, are at 333, but those are on a limited number of at-bats. The rest of them, Bregman, 214. Abreu, 182. Duran, 158. Casas, 143. Trevor Story, 0.77. Rafael Devers, 0.63. Rafael Devers, the $30 million man, on fastballs 95 plus, 0.63. Rafaela, on fastballs 95 plus, 0. Does not have a hit on a fastball 95 plus all season. Tell you what, let's just look at fastballs overall then. Because the 97, 98 is hard for everybody to hit. I concede that. The reason I'm frustrated with the Red Sox is I think they have some good hitters that typically, Rafael Devers used to be able to hit plus velocity. He homered against Aroldis Chapman in Yankee Stadium years ago on a pitch that was like 102 miles an hour. Do you remember that one, Jimmy? It was a freaking bomb to left center field. Devers used to be able to square that up. Fine, maybe he's out of shape. Maybe he's older. Cora said last night, he's getting there little by little. So he's not there yet. Maybe he's on his way there. Fine, no problem.
It's May 1st. How long does it take to get ready for a fastball?
So, Jimmy, I'm with you. And I don't think it's totally that it was the approach in spring training. I think some of it is who these guys are. So now, all fastballs of any kind, no matter what the velocity, four-seam fastballs, Alex Bregman's batting .363. I should say this might include two-seamers. I don't know. Because Bregman's good on the ball in the inner part of the plate. He turns on that pitch well. He's .363 on fastballs. But again, 95 plus, he's .214. That I can live with. Because at least if it's a guy in 94, Bregman's bat's still quick enough where he can hit it. Wilyer Abreu on fastballs of all kinds, .277. Jarren Duran, .265. Those aren't great numbers, but the standards have changed now in baseball. Averages are a little bit lower, and all three of those guys slug on fastballs. Bregman's slugging .600, Abreu's .489, Duran's .471. So they're having good at-bats, what I would call good at-bats against fastballs of all kinds. Tristan Casas, .179. Story, .222. Devers, .194. Rafaela, .220. So all those guys are basically .222 or lower, and their slugging sucks. Casas, .321. Story, .238. Devers, .373. Rafaela, .317, meaning they're not even hitting for power against fastballs under 95. They're not hitting for average or power on fastballs under 95 miles an hour. That should scare the crap out of you if you're a Red Sox fan. Early in the year, yes, it's early in the year. It's cold. It's hard to get a feel. I got you. Why is Bregman hitting .363 then? Or Abreu .277 or Duran .265? Story still doesn't have a home run against a fastball of any kind. And Devers hit a breaking ball last night. Actually, it was a hanging split, 82 miles an hour. That was the one that went 111 miles an hour. Off the bat, the exit velocity 111. The pitch was 82. So again, and that's how Devers got out in front of it. So the reason, to me, that Devers and Story are having trouble, they can't hit the fastball. Story, I think, hasn't been able to hit it since he got here. That's my opinion. Devers used to be able to hit it. Maybe he will again. We'll see how that one goes.
Doubt it.
But that's an alarming number of guys in your lineup that can't hit fastballs. And those are guys in the middle of the order. Story, Devers, Casas. You want to know why the Red Sox lineup is trick or treat? That they get 10 one night when they face someone throwing 94, 93 or less? And why they look inept on other nights when the guy's pumping it in there? Because they can't hit fastballs. So when the velocity comes down, the offense goes up. To me, that's what's happening. There was one play in last night's game that I would normally mock. I thought it was a fabulous, fabulous play. I would say the play of the game, and it was made by a guy on the Blue Jays. We'll tell you what that was when we come back.
Goes back, he falls down. Oh my goodness, did he just do that?
Are you kidding me?
He made the catch after falling down behind his back. Wow. A circus catch if you have ever seen one.
Oh my God.
That was ridiculous.
Just the pure concentration. Oh my goodness. I mean, he hits and barrel rolls, somehow keeps his eye on this. Watch this. First off, I thought this was getting out of the ballpark. Loses his footing. How does he keep his eye on that ball and still make the backhand catch? That was unbelievable.
You must be joking.
Just want to hit on this before we go because I thought this was fabulous last night. This play was unbelievable. I heard Dave O'Brien and Will Middlebrooks talking about it on the broadcast that you never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. Used to be sort of a cliche that people would say about the game, but there is an element of truth to it. Every once in a while, you'll see a play and go, holy crap, what the hell was that? Jarren Duran in the fourth inning hit a deep fly to center field. If you haven't seen it, just Google it. Go on Twitter. Go wherever you want to go. Just wherever you got to go to find it. Find it. What's the guy's name? Dalton? Is it Dalton Varsho? I keep wanting to say Gary Varsho. There used to be a Gary Varsho, I think. But it's Dalton Varsho, the Gold Glove center fielder for the Blue Jays, who's a terrific outfielder, by the way. Jarren Duran turned around. I think it was a fastball. It might not have been. If it was a fastball, it's 93 anyway, so, might as well have been off speed. The ball was belted to dead center. Varsho's running back, stumbles. He's back now on the warning track. Stumbles, falls, and really falls backwards, like lands on his ass. Turns around to his right, is still sort of on his knees. His torso is facing the center field wall, but his head is looking back and reaches out to the side with his glove backhanded and still catches the thing. So when you watch it over and over again, the fact that he was the catch itself was not outrageous. And when I say that, I mean that he was kind of backhanding the ball while he was on his knees. But the fact that he was able to still track it after he got twisted around and locate it and make the play, to me, was astonishing. That was an unbelievable catch. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. And I'll just add that Matt McCarthy put it on X last night, formerly known as Twitter, and says this is one of the best catches he's ever seen, to which I said, lucky, period, with a couple of eyeballs. I was just busting your chops, you morons. Of course it was a great catch. Like, who didn't like it? And now that I watch it again, he actually kind of tumbled and rolled. So he fell down on his ass, tumbled, rolled over, got up on his knees, and then put his glove out to the side and caught it backhanded. It was tremendous. You don't see many like that. You'll see a lot of, your run-of-the-mill diving catch, whoop-de-freaking-do. But that one, that was pretty good. I have to admit, Jimmy, even I like that one. Kevin Majori's Get Your Headlines. Is Joe Murray in tonight? Where the hell is he? Is he here? Oh, he usually comes in.
We're chopping it up back here.
Oh, I get you. All right, he usually comes in the studio. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe he was on remote, or maybe he was late. Majori was going to get stuck holding the bag here. Whatever it is, Kevin's Got Your Headlines. We'll catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the game.
From the Towner Tire Studios, the 18-time world champion Boston Celtics are looking for number 19.
Tatum pull it up.
Hear every playoff game right here. Your home for Boston Celtics basketball. WBZ FM and HD1 Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station.
Sports Hub Headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Jason Tatum had 35 points. Jaylen Brown had 23 of his own, and the Celtics ended the season for the Orlando Magic with a 120-89 victory in Game 5 last night. Next round for the Celtics will kick off on Monday, May 5th, and they await the winner of the Knicks and Pistons series, which will play Game 6 tomorrow night, as the Pistons fought off elimination last night with a 106-103 win in Game 5. Per Shams Charania of ESPN, the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo are scheduled to meet after the season to discuss his future and the future plans for the team. This following the Bucks being eliminated by the Pacers last night. The Red Sox hit 5 home runs last night and were 10-2 winners over the Toronto Blue Jays. Garrett Crochet went 7 innings, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits while striking out 6 in the win. Game 2 of that 3-game set is just about to get underway. Lucas Giolito will make his Red Sox debut. He'll be opposed by Yariel Rodriguez for the Jays. 3 Stanley Cup playoff games on the slate tonight. The Capitals will look to close out the Montreal Canadiens. That puck drops in a few minutes. Brad Marchand and his Florida Panthers look to finish off the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's at 7:30. And Jim Montgomery's St. Louis Blues play Game 5 in Winnipeg against Connor Hellebuck and the Jets. That series is tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drop at 9:30. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN tweeted earlier saying that the Patriots are not picking up the 5th-year option of offensive lineman Cole Strange. Per a source, the option would have paid around $16.7 million. Strange has played 30 games for New England with 29 starts. And the NFL fined the Falcons $250,000 in defensive